car brokers? Are they worth it? Fuck if I know. Well, like I said in my first video, it depends. You know, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to do your searches, who doesn't like to be active in the process of finding your car and negotiating a deal, if you don't want to do any of that, if you don't have the time, or if it's just not in your wheelhouse, you know, if you just find that whole process annoying and you just want the best car, the most reliable car at the best possible price, then a car broker is worth it, because he'll do all of that stuff for you, and he'll get a price probably better than you can get for yourself. That's what they say, and it's probably true. But for me personally, I'm having a hard time feeling that it was 100% worth it. You know, my car broker got the price down $1,000 from what it was listed at. And when he was first negotiating with the Kia dealership, they said that they just couldn't go down more than $200. And he told me that, and I said to him, you know, this is kind of why I hire you. You know, car brokers are famous for getting the better prices, much better prices. And the next time I heard from him, he's like, okay, they knocked it down $1,000. So maybe he was playing me, and you know, he was always able to do that, or he knew he was always going to be able to do it. But he got it down $1,000 either way. But my price for paying what I'm paying him, starts off as $200. And this is Authority Auto, you know? That's the company, that's the firm, the car broker firm, Authority Auto. You pay $200 up front. They call it the retainer fee. That basically means you've hired him, and he's going to start doing his job for you. And then after everything is done, after you've signed paperwork, after he's looked over the contract that you've signed with the dealership, you know, you have your car and everything is done, then you pay him the final fee. And that was an extra $700. And that was all understood beforehand. You know, their website tells you $200 fee, and then like $800 in total or whatever. And it didn't actually end up being that for me. I'm not sure why. I think he gave me a discount. Who knows? I will say though that there's an extra fee if he has to negotiate a trade-in. And I ended up negotiating my trade-in, and I told him, since you said they could, you know, they weren't going to match this one price I was looking for, and I got them to match that one price. To me, that sounds like that victory is mine. In other words, I was saying, don't charge me that extra fee for the trade-in, because I did that without you. And I think he ended up giving me a better price altogether because of that. You know, because whatever. Point is, it's under $900 I had to pay him, and he only knocked the final price off for the car $1,000. And so you sit there thinking, was that whole process worth it? And for me, the answer is probably not. But that's because I was wildly active in the whole process. You know, you hire a car broker to do everything for you, and I was too excited and too enthusiastic about getting a muscle car, trading up from a Honda Civic to a muscle car, and the prospect of what will I get, what's out there. I mean, I was doing searches every second of my spare time. I was on Car Guru, Edmunds, Auto Trader, Cars.com. You know, I was just, every second of my free time, I was just looking at what was out there. and sending my car broker emails of saying, hey, this car excites me, could you look into that? And when he sent me his list of, basically, he wanted to send me 6 cars that he had found that passed his first cursory examination. I had already seen all those cars on my own because I was just so active, you know. And so if you're like me and you have no problem with just dedicating yourself to searching and finding cars, then half the car broker's job is suddenly kind of redundant. But if that's not something you like to do, if you don't have the time and you just don't enjoy that, you just want someone to do it for you, then a car broker is very good. But what he also does is the phone calls, and that's something that I really hate doing. I hate talking on the phone. I hate making phone calls, and quite frankly, I just don't feel like I have the time. You know, it's like I feel like I have to do it on my lunch break or something because I can't be on the phone while I'm at work. And my car broker was doing that. He was talking to the dealerships. You know, he was negotiating prices. He was trying to find out what could and couldn't be done, asking all the important questions about the vehicle and its history and all that. And I certainly wasn't going to do any of that. And so on that level, the car broker was worth it. Except the car I went with was at a dealership that was easily accessible to me. Some of them weren't. Some of them definitely had to be done over the phone until you drove out there 100, 200 miles to pick the car up. But the one that I got was just a few miles out, and so I went to the dealership early on and test drove the car and told them who I was, told them what I was looking for. And so his phone calls and his negotiating seems less important because I was able to do that. Now, there's no guarantee that I could have gotten the price that he got, but I kind of think I could have, because I'm good at saying no. I'm good at simply letting the efforts of a salesman wash over me, you know, like drops on a duck's feather, or however that works. You know, it rolls off me. I don't feel the pressure to please them or agree with them. And so so I'm able to say, no, that price isn't going to work for me. I think I'm going to have to keep looking. And I probably could have gotten $1,000 or most of that $1,000 down myself. Now, what I didn't know before the car broker experience was, because this experience did help me. Communicating with this guy and talking with him, and he walking me through things, I was able to glean a lot of his process and a lot of his information. And I feel that the next time I buy a car, I'll be able to internalize a lot of that and just add it on to what I was already capable of. And I'll be like 95% of his efficiency and his abilities. Maybe. That's just a ridiculous estimate. But this time, I learned that those add-ons that the dealership wants to do for safety and your benefit, those are all things where they make a lot of money. Those extra, beyond standard warranties. Sounds good, and I've bought them in the past, but they're ultimately not very useful. Then that's where they make a lot of their money. They had this anti-theft GPS thing that they wanted to do. That was nearly $1,000 added on. And so when my car broker saw the list of things they wanted to do, add on to the purchase, he's like, you don't need that, you don't need that. All of that is just bullshit. Knock that off, and suddenly we're down another $3,000 of. And so, if you consider him saving me the price that they wanted to tack on at the end, then he saved me thousands of dollars. But I don't necessarily credit him for all of that. And I definitely won't need him the next time, because I definitely know now that those warranties, because my car actually has it's a certified pre-owned, so it has like a 5-year engine warranty that was just standard with the purchase of the car. Like that was not an add-on at all. You know, infinite miles. Like if I can drive it for as many miles as I want, but up to 5 years, and it's covered. The engine is. That's really all you need. You know, all this other stuff, it might go bad, it might not, but you can repair it if it does. It usually doesn't. So yeah, the car broker is worth it, right? Worth it, but not worth it. It really depends on you. It depends on the kind of person you are, whether or not you enjoy the process, if you like being on the internet, if you like doing your searches, and if you're able to fight and negotiate with a hungry salesman or woman. If you're able to do all that and like doing all that and don't mind doing all of that, then a car broker is not worth it at all for you. But if you're someone who does not want to do any of that and really just wants a no-hassle experience of getting a great car that meets your criteria, then by God, go with a car broker, especially Authority Auto. See, I came to the whole car broker idea very early on in August, when I was originally looking for what kind of car I wanted to go up from my Civic. And I saw this video of a cheeky Australian talking about ways to handle dealership salesmen. And at the end of the video, after all of his suggestions, he said, or you could not do any of that and just hire a car broker. And I was like, what is a car broker? And he goes, a car broker will do all of that for you and save you an awful lot of money. And so I asked myself, well, I then got on Google and Googled, is a car broker worth it? Because I wanted some independent verification of what that guy was saying. And the first two articles that came up, I read both. And one was an Edmunds article and one was a Quora article. And both of them said basically what I said was, they're worth it, depends. It depends on a few things. You know, it depends on whether or not the broker is basically you don't want them to have a relationship with the dealership. Some of them do. You know, they take cutbacks or kickbacks, let's call it, kickbacks for negotiating with the dealership, from the dealership, which basically means their interests are compromised. You know, they're trying to satisfy the dealership as well as you, and that's not a position you want them to be in. You want them all on your side. So the Quora article mentioned Authority Auto as the broker that they use, the firm. And so I went straight there. I didn't shop around. I went straight there. And they met all of those criteria of what is a good broker and what isn't. They had a standard upfront fee, you know, and there wasn't add-ons tacked on for any extra work they might have done. It was just, this is what you pay, and this is what they'll do. And so, I came to realize that, sure, their worth it depends. But now I know they're also worth it depends on you as much as what you're looking for. And that's really what's important. Are you the kind of person who can do or wants to do the things that you're going to pay a car broker to do? If you're not that kind of person, then pay a car broker. If you are, don't waste your money. You're basically just paying someone to do what you're already going to do, like I did. I was paying him to search for cars, and I was searching for cars myself. Not a good use of your funds, but it was an experience, and one that I value. And if I am unable in my next purchase to negotiate a good price, then I might still call up my broker. I might still have to say, hey, listen, I came this far, I got these agreements, but I really think they're holding out on me, and my skills at the table, as it were, just aren't up to snuff. What can you do for me? You know, and he'll then finalize the deal. That might still happen, but I kind of doubt it. Whoa, shit, man. Asshole drivers nearly clipped me. Motherfucker. So that's my review of car brokers. You know, think about it. Think deep. Examine thyself. Well, this is Pinky Powers. I'll see you next time.